In the sequence of stories of superhit films shown on Khabar Tak, the new link of story that I have brought before you today is the story of film Maqsad, that is Intention. This film was released on the silver screen in 1984 and was the second most grossing film of that year. This film was directed by K. Bapaiya, and the lead role in the film Maqsad, that is Intention, were played by Jitendra, Sridevi, Rajesh Khanna, and Jayaprada, whereas role of villain were played by Prem Chopra, Kader Khan, Ranjit, and Shakti Kapoor. Wahida Rahman and others played character role in this film. This film included many beautiful dance scene and melodious song as well. The music director of this film was Bappi Lahari, and the voiceover in the song of this film were given by Kishore Kumar, Asa Bhosle, and Janki. The first few lines of some of the prominent song of this film, Maqsad, I am humming for your amusement. देवी ओ बेबी तो बन जा मेरी बीबी, पलकों पे बिठा के रख लूंगा, तुझे दिल में छुपा के रख लूंगा, तेरे लिए लड़ जाऊंगा मैं सारी दुनिया से, देवी ओ बेबी तो बन जा मेरी बीबी। गुस्सा छोड़ दिल ना तोड़, बिगड़ न घड़ी घड़ी, गुस्सा छोड़ दिल ना तोड़, बिगड़ न घड़ी घड़ी, किस माँ ने जन्म दिया उनके हाथों पीछे पड़ी, गुस्सा छोड़ दिल ना तोड़, बिगड़ न घड़ी घड़ी, प्यार तुमने किया न हो तो हमसे शुरुआत करो, प्यार तुमने किया न हो तो हमसे शुरुआत करो, मैं लैला की छुट्टी कर दूं, तू मजनू को मात करो, प्यार तुमने किया न हो तो हमसे शुरुआत करो. Now listen to the entire story of film Maqsad, that is Intention, in detail. The story of the film Maqsad, that is Intention, begins with a scene at the wedding of Bichu, played by Amjad Khan, son of Naglingam, played by Kader Khan. The bride arrives at the wedding venue, but before the wedding can be completed, her lover arrives on a motorcycle and runs away with her. Seeing them escaping, Naglingam's man chases him. In the process, fleeing lovers collide with the bicycle of Tilak, played by Jitendra, who is coming from the opposite direction. Tilak hands them both over to Naglingam. Naglingam then asks Tilak to stay and enjoy himself until the wedding ceremony is over. The wedding resumes, but Tilak senses that the bride is unhappy with the marriage. He goes and confronts her, to which she nods her head in agreement. Her lover then tells Tilak that they are in love, but her father is reluctant to marry his daughter to him because he is poor. Hearing this, Tilak removes Naglingam's son Bichu from the wedding stage and asks the priest to solemnize the marriage by having the girl's lover sit there. When Naglingam objects, Tilak prepares to fight him as well. Then Rajeshwar, played by Rajesh Khanna, approaches Tilak and suggests marrying the girl to Naglingam's son Bichu, who is also his friend, instead of her lover. A fight ensues between Rajeshwar and Tilak. Just then, Rajeshwar's father, played by Om Sivpuri, arrives and, after learning everything, arranges for the girl's marriage to be solemnized with his lover. Bichu is deeply distressed by the cancellation of his marriage. Rajeshwar and his other friend then board a car and say, "Let's all go find another girl for you to marry." They then board a car and head towards a temple. Bharti, played by Sridevi, who is the daughter of Vishnu Pratap, played by Sri Ram Lagu, A teacher in the school run by Rajeshwar's father and his partner. She is going to temple with offering to pray for relief from the poverty of his family. On the way, Rajeshwar spots her and is taken aback. In an attempt to get closer to her, Rajeshwar lightly bumps her with his car near the temple, causing her offering materials for the worship to fall onto the road. She enraged at Rajeshwar and his friend and enters the temple. Rajeshwar stands outside the temple with his companions waiting for Bharti to return from her puja. At the temple, Bharti sees the temple manager Naglingam running a business by secretly selling the offering offered to the deity in the markets instead of distributing them to the devotee. She becomes enraged at Nagningam and leaves the temple, returning home. Rajeshwar and his friends get into a car and follow Bharti going home from the temple, but Bharti ignores them and continues walking quickly towards her home. Seeing Bharti's disregard for Rajeshwar, her friend taunted him that if she loves him, she will wearing a sari of the same color as the car he will drive tomorrow. The next day, Rajeshwar passes by Bharti's house in a red car and finds Bharti wearing a red sari. Seeing this, Rajeshwar tells his friends that Bharti wearing a red sari indicates her love for him. Bharti overhears him but does not respond. The next day, she wears a black sari and meets Rajeshwar, who arrives in a black car that day. Bharti tells Rajeshwar that even though the black sari of her matches with the black car of him, she does not love him. She is wearing a black sari so that he can understand that she does not love him. Then Rajeshwar forcibly starts making love to her. Tilak arrives and protests against Rajeshwar's behavior. This leads to a fight between the two. Rajeshwar's father Dharmaraj arrives and supporting Tilak and Bharti tells them to go home and orders Rajeshwar to work in his company. Rajeshwar's father Dharmaraj has three other people involved in his business: Nagningam, Nagendra played by Ranjit, and Dhanraj played by Prem Chopra. On the occasion of the company's anniversary, Dhanraj tells people about his company, saying that it runs schools for the poor, arranges marriages for poor girls, and manufactures medicines to promote good health. Rajeshwar's father and the company's main driver Dharmaraj harbors the misconception that his company is engaged in charitable causes, but the reality is far away from that. Under Dhanraj's leadership, Naglingam and Nagendra makes school teachers work long hours without payment, and when they do pay, it is often far less than they are promised. He also marries off poor girls under the guise of honeymoons and sends them to an agent involved in prostitution. In the pharmaceuticals industry, he also runs a large trade in counterfeit medicine disguised as genuine ones. Tilak's mother Sarda, played by Wahida Rahman, works as a servant at Dhanraj's house. She is given a lot of work and paid a meager salary, barely enough to provide for herself and her son Tilak. However, Tilak does not want her mother him to work as a maid in anyone else's home. One day, Tilak dismisses his mother Sarda, who is working for Seth Dhanraj, and brings her home. Seeing this, Dhanraj's daughter Rani, played by Jayaprada, taunts Tilak for being poor and says he cannot take his mother home without completing the work. Tilak, defying both Rani and her mother, takes his mother home. The next day, while Rani is traveling in a car with her friend, she spots Tilak on a bicycle looking for the work. She sits in her car, blocking Tilak's bicycle path, and sends her friends to teach him a lesson. When Rani's friends try to teach Tilak, Tilak becomes aggressive and moves towards them. Scared, they run to Rani, and Rani, promising to teach Tilak a lesson, later lives with her friends. The next day, Rani comes with Rajeshwar's three friends to teach Tilak a lesson, but Tilak beats them up and drives them away. Seeing the family's dire state, Bharati tells her father, Master Vishnu Prasad, that she is going to tutor Seth Dhanraj's daughter Rani. Master Vishnu Prasad tells Bharati, if Dhanraj does not pay teachers for teaching in school, how will he pay you for tutoring? But Bharati says that she will teach his daughter, so he will definitely pay her. When Bharati goes to tutor Dhanraj's daughter Rani, she sees her dancing there. Bharti interrupts her dance and asks her to study. Rani tells her to come and sit and watch her dance. He will get salary when the month is over. Bharti lashes out at Rani, saying, your father has immense wealth, so you could give me money for free. But I don't do free loaders. Hearing this, Rani becomes impressed and agrees to take regular tuition from Bharti. Rajeshwar's father Dharmaraj is impressed by Tilak's two instances of standing firm on the side of truth, even at the risk of his life. However, without informing Tilak, he persuades his partners to hire Tilak as a truck driver to transport medicine. While working as a truck driver, Tilak discovers that the medicines being transported in his truck contain several boxes of counterfeit medicine. He then begins to take the truck to police station, promising to hand it over to the police. Dharmraj's partner Nagendra, who oversees the pharmaceutical business and is also a friend of Rajeshwar, informs Rajeshwar that the truck driver involved in transporting his medicines is colluding with someone else to sell counterfeit medicines from the truck. Angered by this exposure, Rajeshwar takes the truck to the police station to defame them all. Receiving this information, Rajeshwar chases Tilak, who is transporting the truck in his car, and catches him. He rebukes him for what he was told and tells him to take the truck back to the warehouse. Tilak refuses to believe Rajeshwar and begins to take the truck to the police station. Rajeshwar confronts him and a heated argument and later fighting ensues. Just then Nagendra arrives with the police. The police insists to take Tilak and the truck full of medicines to the police station. Nagendra offers the police escorting the truck some money and offers to have fun. Meanwhile, with the help of his men, he removes all the counterfeit drug cases from the truck and sends them to another location. The truck is released after the police find no counterfeit drugs in the truck, but Tilak is jailed for assaults. Hearing of Tilak's imprisonment, Rajeshwar's father Dharmaraj visits Tilak and tells him that even though no evidence of counterfeit drugs has been uncovered, nevertheless, based on his words, he will try to find out if anyone is actually selling counterfeit drugs under the guise of his company's drugs. He then encourages Tilak and leaves, promising justice for him. Just then he spots Sarda, who has come there with her neighbor, Master Vishnu Pratap, to secure Tilak's bail. After Tilak is released from jail on bail, Dhanmaraj reinstates him as a truck driver and places him in high-ranking position within his pharmaceutical company. Tilak begins to perform his duty with complete integrity, thus blocking the illegal income of Dhanraj, Nagendra, and Naglingam. They then embark on a plan to eliminate Tilak. Rajeshwar, who is fully focused on his company at his father's behest, informs his father's partners Dhanraj, Nagendra, and Naglingam about the Independence Day flag hosting ceremony at the school where Bharti's father, Master Vishnu Pratap, is working. While preparing for the flag hosting ceremony, Dhanraj comes to school and tells him to make all the preparation, saying he will come to Rajeshwar's place for the flag hosting ceremony. When Master Vishnu confronts him about paying the teacher's salary, Dhanraj laments the lack of funds and leaves, promising to make all the preparations for flag hosting ceremony. When Rajeshwar arrives at the school for the Independence Day flag hosting ceremony, he sees Master Vishnu Pratap and tells him that he was his student. If they are facing any problems, they can tell him. He says Master Vishnu tells him that none of the teachers have received their salaries for 6 months. When Rajeshwar questions Dhanraj about this, he tries to avoid the issue. Rajeshwar then tells him that he won't hoist the flag until the teachers' dues are paid. Dhanraj then quickly pay all the teachers' dues. Master Vishnu Pratap's daughter Bharti is also watching this. Immediately after the flag hosting, Bharti meets Rajeshwar and tells him that she had mistaken him for a bad person. Dhanraj, Naglingam, and Nagendra conspiring to eliminate Tilak through Rajeshwar. They also use Dhanraj's daughter Rani as a pawn. In Rani's presence, Nagendra offers Rajeshwar rupees 5,000. When Rajeshwar admits he does not have the money, he offers to advance rupees 5,000 from his company's fund and return it later. Rajeshwar agrees, seeing Tilak's stubbornness. Rani tells Rajeshwar that Tilak won't pay him. Rajeshwar and Rani then makes a bet of rupees 5,000. The three then arrives at the office where Tilak works. Rajeshwar summons Tilak and instructs him to deposit rupees 5,000 from the office fund. However, Tilak refuses, saying that he acts as a guardian for Rajeshwar's father and other partners, so he cannot give him rupees 5,000. He then leaves, warning Rajeshwar not to call him for such a frivolous matter. After Tilak leaves, Nagendra begins to taunt Rajeshwar for this. Rani then offers to bring them that much money from Tilak and give it to him. Nagendra then challenges him to do the same and bets rupees 5,000. Rani goes to Tilak and asks for rupees 5,000, which Tilak refuses. Rani confesses her love for him and offers to give him rupees 5,000 for her love. Tilak tells her that he cannot give her a single pony from the company's funds. He has saved rupees 250 for a special purpose. If she wants, he can give rupees 250. Rani then asks him to give her only rupees 250. When Tilak opens the lock of his office safe, he finds not a single rupee there. This alarms him. Rani then asks him who else besides him has the key to the safe's lock. He tells her that another person has the key. Hearing the commotion, Rajeshwar, Nagendra, and several others arrives. Nagendra also calls his partners Naglingam and Dhanraj to the scene. Together they accuses Tilak and them of theft and discusses handing him over to the police. When Rajeshwar's father Dharmaraj learns of this, he arrives at the scene and, in an attempt to hush up the matter, asks Tilak to privately explain why he had stolen so much money. Hearing this, Tilak becomes furious, but given the gravity of the matter, reiterates that he did not steal. Dharmaraj then asks him why he had brought so much money from the bank and kept it in the office safe. Tilak, citing 2 days bank holiday, offers to manage his office expenses as usual. Everyone then refuses his statement and begins to talk and rebukes everyone, telling him to shut their mouths. Otherwise, if she opens her mouth, they will be left with nothing. Hearing this voice of Sarda, everyone falls silent, and Sarda takes her son Tilak and returns home. Rajeshwar also returns home with his father Dharmaraj. Then he questions his father Dharmaraj about the secret Sarda Devi was talking about revealing. Meanwhile, Tilak returning home asks his mother the same questions. His mother Sarda tells him that his father Sakti Singh, played by Shatrughan Sinha as a guest uh, artist, in was a revolutionary. He no longer considers it appropriate for revolutionaries to resort to robbery to raise funds to keep revolution against the British. Nagalingam, Dhanraj, and Nagendra, who were then living with him, taunt him for bringing money from his own home in such a situation. Shakti Singh then brings his share of the money and returns home to give it to the revolutionaries. His brother Dharmaraj is not there at the time. However, as he returns to the revolutionaries camp with his share of money, his brother Dharmaraj arrives. He tells Shakti Singh that he earned all this money through his own hard work and has no share in it. Shakti Singh, in anger, abandons all his possessions and returns to the revolutionary camp with his wife Sarda. When Shakti Singh fails to bring the money, the revolutionary resort to robbing again to raise funds for the revolution. One day, Nagendra attempts to rape a wealthy man's daughter and in the process shoots and kills her father. Shakti Singh then becomes determined to kill him, but Naglingam and Dhanraj stop him doing so. The three then hatch a plan to take revenge on Shakti Singh. One day, when the police surround the revolutionaries' hideout, Shakti Singh steps forward to engage in a shootout, hoping to spare his comrades. Meanwhile, Naglingam, Nagendra, and Dhanraj plan to escape with all the money collected for the revolution. During the encounter, one of the three shoots Shakti Singh from behind, leaving him mortally wounded. He manages to reunite with his wife Sarda, who is in labor pain. Shakti Singh tells his wife to raise their child properly and not accept help from Dharmaraj or other traitors, no matter how dire the situation. Hearing this from his mother, Tilak becomes furious and vows revenge. Dhanraj tells Rajeshwar the same thing. Hearing this, Rajeshwar comes to take his aunt Sarda home, but Sarda flatly refuses to go with him, citing several things about her husband Shakti Singh. After paying Dhanraj once at Rajeshwar's request, Dhanraj again stops paying the school teachers, leaving Master Vishnu Pratap's family vulnerable to starvation. One day, when his son sees other children eating at school, he steals from a student unable to bear the hunger. When Master Vishnu Pratap receives this complaint, he severely beats his son. While Bharti consoles her brother, Master Vishnu Pratap arrives home. He regrets his actions, loves his son, and leaves. A short while later, he returns with some rice in a bag and tells his daughter Bharti to cook a meal and feed everyone. When asked, he offers to borrow grain from a nearby shop. When Bharti receives her salary for tutoring Rani, she goes to pay the shopkeeper. There she discovers that her father had never took any credit from her shop. As she leaves, she sees her father begging. She puts money in his bag and his father is embarrassed. One day, Bharti's brother falls ill. On the doctor's advice, her father brings her medicine. As soon as Bharti administers the medicine, his condition worsens. Master Vishnu calls a doctor. When the doctor examines the bottle, he declares that the medicine is fake, which is why her condition was worsened. However, before the doctor can do anything to save her, Bharti's brothers dies. Tilak arrives carrying Bharti's brother's body and leaving. Meanwhile, having read about the death caused by the fake medicine in the newspaper, Dharmaraj arrives at the pharmacy institute and threatens Dhanraj, Naglingam, and Nagendra. Just then Tilak arrives carrying the body and begins burying it in the courtyard, saying that his soul will curse them all regardless of their eating, drinking, sleeping, and walking states. Meanwhile, Rajeshwar arrives with Nagendra's son Nagpal, played by Shakti Kapoor, and declares that he is the real culprit. Hearing this, Tilak becomes determined to kill him. Rajeshwar then asks Tilak to forgive him, but Tilak repeatedly attempts to kill him until the police arrives and threatens to arrest him for his action. Tilak accuses the police of being biased, but the police ignores his pleas and take the body away, promising to conduct a postmortem. Meanwhile, an office employee arrives and tells Rajeshwar that it was not Tilak who stole the money, but he himself, with the help of Dhanraj, Nagendra, and Naglingam for his daughter's wedding. He also reveals that these people run a prostitution racket under the guise of institutional marriage. Upon learning of this, Rajeshwar arrives at the wedding venue being organized by his organization and finds everyone preparing to hand over the girls to pimps for prostitution. When Rajeshwar opposes this, everyone unites to kill him. However, in the end, Rajeshwar beats everyone and forces them to leave, freeing all the girls being taken for prostitution. When Dharmraj learns that his partners are making huge profits by engaging in their illegal business, he drafts a documents to send them to jail. Dhanraj goes to get Naglingam and Nagendra's signature. Dhanraj arrives with a pistol and a tape recorder in his hand. When Dhanraj, Naglingam, and Nagendra refuses to sign, he forces everyone's signature at gunpoint and records the conversation. He then sets off to submit the document. On the way, Dhanraj, Naglingam, and Nagendra murder Dharmaraj. However, while surrounded, Dharmaraj removes the tape from the tape recorder and inserts it into the car's tape recorder. After the murder, the three are about to dispose of the body of Dharmaraj when they spot Tilak approaching in a truck. He then parks his car on the road. Stop Tilak's truck, attacks him, knocking him unconscious. He then puts a knife in his hand, stabs him with it, and calls the police, implicating Tilak is Dharmaraj's murderer. He informs Rajeshwar of this so that the two brothers will fight and kill each other and he can inherit all of them property. Then Tilak to his house went to the house out of Rajeshwar, beats him and reveals the entire conspiracy. Upon learning of this, Tilak somehow escapes his clutches and goes to tell Rajeshwar the truth. However, Rajeshwar does not believe him and sets out to kill him. Initially, Tilak attempts to reason with Rajeshwar and even after receiving beating, but when Rajeshwar refuses, he too sets out to kill him. Just then, the police arrives and arrests Tilak. After this incident, one day while Rajeshwar is reviewing documents in the office, he discovers a document his father had prepared regarding the involvement of his three other partners in criminal activities. When he inquires about this document from his employee, they tell him that he made two copies for it. Rajeshwar then takes the second copy and goes to his father's partner, where the men attack him while trying to escape his attacks in his father's car. The tape recorder accidentally turns on and he learns that his father has confessed to his three partners' involvement in criminal activities. He then rescues Tilak from police custody. When Rajeshwar's father's partners Dhanraj, Naglingam, and Nagendra learns of this, they assume their death sentences from the court and prepare to flee abroad with all their wealth. Naglingam's son Bichu, who is also Rajeshwar's friend, informs Rajeshwar and Tilak of this. Rajeshwar and Tilak then attack Dharmaraj, Naglingam, and Nagendra, eager to flee abroad with all the wealth hidden in the temple. During the fight, all three are beaten up by the snake they had raised, resulting in their deaths. Subsequently, Rajeshwar and Bharti and Tilak and Rani married, and the entire family unites and lives happily ever after. With this vision, the story of the film ends.